Empathy. What's your score? In this video, we're going to look at what is empathy, how you can personally benefit from being empathetic, and how developing this skill can have a big impact on your success and personal happiness. Now today, many of us live in insulated bubble-like environments. And take time out for a moment, look at others around you. Likely you'll notice their bubbles. On closer examination of these others, you'll probably notice that they have similarities, or they have similarities with you and you with them. So how does this relate to having empathy? Well, it's not too difficult to have empathy for those that think and act like us. In this case, empathy is almost automatic for those that demonstrate similarities to our own lives. Now, what I mean here is that the bubble-like environments that float together have an invisible umbilical cord-like connection. And these connections can often be seen in the similar reactions that are expressed. Close bubbles tend to vote the same, they tend to spend the same and think along the same lines. Bubbles like these tend to have a natural empathetic connection. We like to believe that we are unique and different, but often we have glaring similarities. We often hold the same beliefs, and these beliefs bounce around in our bubble sphere, so to speak. And these beliefs tend to produce bias in thought, action, and speech. And the danger of this is that we become more and more isolated into group bubble think. We become less and less interested in anything outside of our own perception and view of the world around us. Taken to an extreme, one can feel under constant threat of attack. And it can also give rise to physical and mental health issues. Now, on the other hand, humans do naturally hold bias. One of the outcomes of this bias is that it provides us with a sense of security, a sense of feeling comfortable around similar others. But this sense of security may come at a heavy price. See, the more we focus on feeling safe and secure, the less tolerant of anything that challenges these feelings we become. Now, empathy is a tool that we can use to take more control in our lives. Now, walk a mile in another person's shoes. It's one of those sayings that we might give lip service to, but what if this led to discover something painful in your own life? What if you were literally to exchange shoes with another person and walk beside them and compare experiences? The person walking to you next to you says, "I really like your shoes, apart from the pressure under my right toe." Inquisitively, you reply, "Pressure under your right toe?" The person slips off your shoe and turns it over. "There it is," she says, as she removes a stone that has over time embedded itself into the sole. "That's weird," you reply, as you explain that you can feel pressure under your right toe in their shoes. You slip off their shoe, expecting to find the same, turn it over, and there's nothing there. You then reach down and feel the underside of your toe where you find a patch of hard skin. And this hard skin has built up over time due to that stone being under your sole, embedded in the sole of your shoe. When you were wearing their shoes, you felt the hard skin, as now it was not compensating for the stone. Now, what I'm saying here is that we can become so used to the feelings we experience, the thoughts we think and the words we speak, that we become isolated in our own worldview. To avoid this, empathy is a tool that we can use to deliver incredible insight into who we really are. If we like who we are and we are not biased, great. But if we do discover that we hold some bias, then we might be wise to explore that. It's said that empathy is understanding how others feel. But does this simple definition shortchange us on what we could be using it for? Now, neuroscientists say that when we're empathetic, the emotional centre of our brains starts to perceive the feelings of others. Next, in steps the cognitive part of the brain, which tries to understand why they feel the way they do and how we can be helpful to them. It's a nice image, isn't it? I mean, really listening to another person and getting an understanding of how they are feeling and then being able to really relate to that. We could say that this would be high-level empathy, being able to offer some advice based on our own genuine experience of another person's personal situation. Now, I don't want to erase that pleasant image of high-level empathy, but the reality is that in most cases we don't do that. One only has to spend 10 minutes on Twitter to experience that human bias stated as fact, and the only solution is to convert your wrong thinking to my right thinking and vice versa. To reply to those tweets with a simple "why is that so?" can in many cases unleash a tirade of conflict that results in pushing two sides ever further apart. The irony is that were these individuals to be placed face to face, engaged in genuine heartfelt empathy, they would discover ways to help each other. This would be the natural outcome of empathetic communication. So how could we learn to be more empathetic and in doing so enhance our lives while enhancing the lives of others? Well, it turns out it's not actually that hard to do. Start a conversation with a stranger. How? Well, think of a question that you would like this person to ask you right now. Make sure that question would have an impact on you. Then modify that question in a way that allows you to start a conversation with the other person. Isn't it a great day? Will not take you much beyond a statement. I really like your hat, the same. But I really like your hat, your coat, your belt, your shoes, whatever you choose. But I really struggle in choosing the right type of things for me. How do you go about it? Now that type of thing creates a conversation, and from there you can easily proceed to learn about another person's life experiences. Try it. You'll be amazed at what happens in your own life when you start to open up yourself to experience others' lives. Empathy is the key here, genuine empathy. If you don't feel you can do this person to person yet, then subscribe to some newsletters that cater to people with other backgrounds that are different to your own. Don't jump right in but take time to read and listen. How about a different race or religion? Put away your own bias and beliefs long enough to say, what if? And also, what about our phones? It goes without saying, put down your phone and instead pay attention to the person's facial and physical gestures. This alone is a big step to understanding empathy and how to engage in conversation. I particularly like talking to homeless people. This reminds me how easy it is for life and circumstances to turn on a dime. If someone or something is bothering you, if so, turn off the bothering response for enough time to consider, why is this person doing this or focusing on this things this way? What is going on in their life that could be causing this? Are they getting enough sleep? How do you react when you're tired? What if you were tired over an extended period? How would you react? This is engaging empathy. Like I said earlier, this can have a profound and positive impact on your life. Try standing up for someone that normally you wouldn't. A simple thing like when you're in a group and someone is interrupting another person, say, hold on, let Mary or John finish what they were saying. And this sort of response immediately demonstrates your empathy for trying to understand another person. Later on, when you're alone with that person, you might say something like, hey, that conversation that we had earlier when you said about X, Y, Z, I'm really interested in that. Can you tell me more? What response do you think you'll now get from this person? And remember too that you do not need to know everything about a person or completely understand someone to make them feel respected. If you like this video or want to explore empathy in settings such as the workplace, relationships, children, teenagers, etc., then let me know in the comments below. If you found this helpful, consider giving it a thumbs up and subscribe. You may even know somebody who might benefit from this, so why not share it forward? Remember, it's not all about what I think. What do you think? Start a conversation. Ask questions. Let me know what you think in the comments below. All the very best to my family and yours. I'll catch up with you soon.